stripping down of the self that happens in gaslighting relationships that you really have to be careful that you don't completely and totally lose yourself, you know? Mm-hmm. But it's tough. And I mean, I like I said, I'm grateful for the lessons in my adult life, but I mean, I don't know, from the Buddhist perspective, I sometimes wonder why I was born into this karma, just having all of this. But anyway, that's kind of my take on gaslighting. I don't know if that is useful or helpful, but that's been my story around that.
Anything is useful and helpful. I think the number one concern that I have with gaslighting is the knowing of it, because a lot of people are being gaslighted, but they don't recognize it as such. Yes. So what I mean by I am concerned about it is that so many people are being gaslighted. They are in a relationship with a narcissist. Yeah. And they're not aware of it. They're in a stage that they constantly doubting themselves. Like, for instance, when you go to a narcissist and you come up with your concerns, and especially is in the emotional part, that when you finally get the courage to go to a narcissist and tell them that what you did made me feel so and so, or that this is how I feel, a narcissist gaslighted you back by not only making you wrong, by twisting the situation that, what have I done wrong? There's this too, like, what have I done wrong? You never appreciate me. It's like, and then they play the victim and they turn the situation all the way around that, oh my God, I am the one who's being hurt. And this is the part that I'm trying to tell everyone, to be more mindful of what is going on, because it's very easy to get into that trap that not only start doubting yourself that is he right or not, because the narcissists are pretty good at, they're expert in this. And it's very important for me to be aware at the moment, what is going on here? Yeah. My feelings, every time I come to express my feeling, my feeling not only being not heard, but I'm being also accused that I am the one. So eventually I learned being expressive, especially talking about my feeling, is going to cause more arguments. Yeah. And I'm going to get more, and I'm going to be more wrong, and I'm going to get deeper into this argument or whatever it is that's going on here. So what I'm trying to tell everyone, you have to separate yourself constantly from this person or from this situation. Yeah. And be aware that why every time I talk to this person, it happens to be that I end up being the one who's wrong. Maybe if it happens the first time or the second time or the third time, you just sit back and you said, okay, let me see his view, let me see his lens, maybe he's right. But if it's constantly repeating itself, then you gotta get ding dong, something is really off here, that I'm constantly be the one who made the mistake or being wrong. And it's so important, because once we get dragged into this argument, it's so hard to constantly be aware that you don't have to be fighting constantly. You don't have to fight constantly proving to this person that you are not at fault or you are not the one who's wrong. And your energy gets so drained out, when you're dealing in this situation, that you constantly have to say, no, I didn't make a mistake. It's my right to express myself when I see something wrong, or when it's something wrong in a relationship. It's my right to talk about it. And it's not right to get shut down. And when is it that finally that clicks happen? And I get it. Maybe this relationship is toxic, or maybe now is the time to put an end to this gaslighting.
And I think too, one thing that is just so important, and I think this feels like it's something that's basic. Relationships should not be anxiety producing, right? You shouldn't be constantly anxious in a relationship. And I think that there's so much information in our nervous system when we're close to people, or when we're intimate with people, or when we're connected with people. And when, I think that you have, like, for a long time, I didn't understand that from somebody who has not only a history of childhood abuse, but then also in my adult life, I didn't really understand that wasn't a normal thing, like being anxious all the time in relationships, and me doing my own controlling things, and potentially me also taking responsibility for maybe gaslighting people also. But I mean, I think that there's a tremendous amount of information that your body being on high, like there's information in the nervous system, being on high alert, all of those things are not normal in relationships. And I think if you get to that point, then, I mean, and that's actually, that's where I started drinking, right? So on top of the narcissistic and gaslighting relationship to soothe my anxiety, I'm drinking a bottle of wine a night because I'm so anxious about the text message or the call, and so it unraveled quite a few problems for me. But I mean, you've got to just be so careful about people show you who they are. When they show you who they are, believe them, right? And you can't change people, and mind your own business and trust that, it is just such a rabbit hole.
Amber, thank you for writing comment. Does one of you guys want to respond to Amber's comment? I just pinned it. Can you even read it? A narcissist cannot see or meet you. Do you guys see Amber's comment?
Yeah.
Can you read it out, Amy?
Yeah, so it says a narcissist cannot see or meet you where you are. It's a vicious cycle. Attempting to work with them, cutting ties and setting strong boundaries is really the only way. You cannot change them. And I totally agree with that. And eventually that was the point, the part that I got to in this relationship that I was in. But yeah, there's no negotiating with a narcissist. And a narcissist, their only intent is that the universe revolves around them and what they need. And so I would totally agree with that. And cutting ties is the only way. I would absolutely say that. And also some red flags and triggers we don't need to go into. I think that's another thing that people are like, oh, well, I must have to heal this because it's triggering something in me that needs to be healed. It's like, well, maybe, but also some red flags that you are just meant to walk away from and to cut ties with. So yeah, I think that's also, that's true, Amber. Thank you for that comment.
Mm-hmm. So let's get into some solutions. Trido, do you have any solutions? Like when you realize you were gaslighting, what worked for you?
If we have background noise, let me know because they're drilling over this wall somewhere over there. But so solutions, solutions would include, number one, recognizing all of this, unfolding examples of it. Today's talk may not be comprehensive for everyone, so therefore you're going to need additional research online and YouTube from other professionals to tell you additional examples so that it fits the criteria of where you are in life. And once you have identified the yellow flag, orange flags, and red flags, the Buddha would the Buddha would assert that whatever is costing you peace got to go. It's got to go. And sometimes, sometimes we try to cling on because they are, what is the thing I used to say a long time ago, like too good, too bad to leave, too good to stay, or something like that. And sometimes we really cling on to Well, what if I can't find another person like that? What if, what if they leave me, or how am I going to survive on my own? All of the additional self doubts. But it's not good. It's not good for your health psychologically. It's not good for your health physically. And return back to yourself. Obviously, you got yourself into this mess because you didn't understand you. You didn't have any spirituality in you. And because if I'm dating somebody and they're telling me I'm a loser, I'm not good enough, I'm the piece of trash this earth, blah blah blah, I'm a scumbag. I mean, you name it. You name all of the mean things that people say and use. Now, when you know who you are, where you've been, where you're at today, where you're going, and who you want to go with, then what they're telling you, and you realize it's not true, it doesn't affect you. It's literally like what, really? When you know that you have given more and taken less, you know that you are a good person, you know that you have contributed to society, that you have done your best, and you have used the best available science to try to make this thing work, but it couldn't. So an intelligent person, exercise your intelligence, um, above all, when deciding when to stay, when to leave, concluding it, how when to leave. That means when it's safe to leave, whether you need to consult with your friends, family, or people that is in your life, and so on. It takes reflections, and not to say no. I'm just gonna do me. um and I don't care what other people say. The stubbornness in our head, the ego mind, and what Sudi would say. And the higher self is what Sudi would say, which is your intelligence is what I assert. Exercising your supreme intelligence and consciousness in discerning what is good, what is not good. And when you return back to yourself, you make yourself more bulletproof for the next relationship to come. People can be wonderful and beautiful and a lifetime of memories till death do us part. But people can also be dangerous, supremely dangerous and manipulative. I once had this Italian girl gaslight the crap out of me, and she gave me all these lies, and I overlooked all of these lies. She told me she was a doctor, and I'm like, well, where's your where's your certificate? Oh, it got lost in the mail. Do you have any graduation pictures? No, my ex destroyed my external hard drive. She was so good at manipulating me. This was before becoming a monk. I have never seen anything like it. I have never seen the exercising of intelligence like it. Therefore, it's sad because had she channeled her intelligence for the right reasons, at the right path, with the right people, then it would have bloomed like wildflowers. Because you see, people don't want to go that route. The people don't want to go the good route because it takes effort, and it's easier to control. It's easier to inflict psychological harm and inflict psychological control because it's easy. It's easy to talk crap about things, and call names, and you're not good enough, and do this and do this and do this. But it takes skills, and it takes effort, and it takes intelligence to really cultivate a fulfilling life with a partner, truly understanding what love means, truly understand what it means to share a life with another, truly a partner of a lifetime. So, my position in this is, again, return back to yourself, sit, meditate, reflect on your life, look at all of your mistakes so that you prevent further mistakes down the road, and look at how costly it has costed you. It costed you emotional trauma. It costed you, uh, your body is your temple. It has costed you time, energy, and money and resources. And it's like, how many more of that do you want to engage in? Like, I fell in love approximately 7 times in my life with
Oh my God.
with
Really?
with
I do.
with 60% of them serious commitments. And then I was my back started to ache, and I realized that I can't play this game anymore. I can't play this game anymore with them, and they can't play this game with me anymore. It's just because it's tiring. Just the amount of money for the dates, for the dinner, for the movies. You need money to go out and have fun. And the time and sitting there and gathering information, history about each other, to establish rapport, to establish history, trust. It just takes years to get to really know someone. That I am secure in the knowledge that you are the one. You are the one and only one. Therefore, I want to marry you. And if you wanted to get really deep with it, and you could say, you know what, I have never had a girl like you in my life. I've never had the things that you've done for me and to me in my life, that you are in fact good for me and good to me. And I think that I can spend the remaining balance of my natural living life with you happily. I mean, just look at how we wake up and look at each other. Well, isn't that a beautiful thing? Versus, I've known couples, Sudi, have seen couples that fight 90% of the day. It's like, what is the point of living if you're fighting 90% of the day?
I also want to say though too.
What, Amy? I'm sorry.
I also want to say too that at the end of the day, it's two people trying to get their needs met, right? I think that there could potentially be responsibility on both sides about the way one person gets the way a narcissist get their needs met is just that. They're just trying to get their needs met as much as the person who is engaging with the narcissist is also trying to get a set of subconscious needs met. And so I want to piggyback on that understanding and knowing yourself and meditating, and what are your shadow strategies that you employ to get your needs met in a relationship, right? Because I think there's a lot of work to do in our culture around, I don't know, I mean, you can just see it all over TikTok. It's like, well, I was the giver and they were the taker, but what was the benefit in you giving? What was the benefit in you over giving? Like, you also are getting needs met by doing that, as much as that other person is getting their needs met. So I think there also is some co-responsibility here. And I feel like, I had my responsibility in how bad I let it get. And what saved me was coming to terms with my own responsibility in the way that I allowed somebody to treat me, and why I allowed somebody to treat me so bad. And I had to forgive myself and come to terms with that. And that's when I was able to let the whole situation go. But I also think if we want to just demonize narcissists, I don't think that that's a way out. I think the way out is through understanding our own motives, our own subconscious drives, the value that we get in continuing in these relationships, and what it is we're striving for. I think that is also a really critical aspect of this. So yeah, that's when you were talking about meditating, that's what I was really thinking about. Is like, the way out for me wasn't blame. The way out for me was taking some really deep responsibility for my own patterns, and my own self-worth and my own agency and all of it,
Well, I believe constantly playing roles here, and this is just for us to learn our lessons. And at some point, I might play the narcissist, and that's not constant, right? I can play a narcissist in order for you to learn and come to your awareness that, why am I a victim? Because narcissists also always look for victim. That's why narcissists always keep in touch with the exes, because they are so sharp that they think, let me still hold on to my exes just in case if I didn't find another victim who put up with all my BSs all this long. So keep in mind, sometimes in life, if you see your ex-boyfriend or girlfriend keeps contacting you every once in a while, they just want to make sure that they have you on the side, just in case if they ran out, for God's sake. to catch another victim. But basically, we played all these roles. If I play this role as the narcissist right now, it's for you to come to yourself. It's actually for your teaching, that you come to understanding that, maybe every time I come and I say, I did this good thing for someone. If you're really aware, you pay attention when you come to a narcissist and you tell them that you're doing this good thing for a friend or for a community, a narcissist will get really pissed off and it hits you really hard. Why? Because a narcissist said everything and all attention has to come to me. All the favors has to come to me. So they're going to hit you so hard, but it really takes us to be conscious to realize why is he so upset? And why is he saying, no, you didn't do that person a favor, and why are they beating you up? Don't get fooled by that. Don't continue. Don't let them get you engaged again into this toxicity. Don't try to defend yourself. Don't try to tell them. And narcissist is a narcissist. The only thing you can do is to come to yourself and say, I know that this person, whoever it is, whether it's my mom, my dad, or whatever, is playing this role for me to realize that I am the one who's playing the victim. Thank you so much. And
Yes.
then, right? And I get
Yes.
myself out of the situation.
Yes.
But like Trido said, there are things that we say, set your boundaries, but these are not really easy thing to hold on to. We all know what's the right thing. But then again, as soon as we get that invitation as come on in, we get to this. I did a series of relationship with Trido. And I said, the minute your hormones are out of whack and all this serotonin and dopamine is coming, be careful. That's the invitation for you.
It's an addiction. It's an addiction.
Yeah, but it's the invitation to come in. It's the class. So be very careful about what's going on. Anyway, let's get back to Amy. Amy, love, we have a few minutes to close this live. So what would be your solution? What would be your advice for gaslighters and the one who are being gaslighted?
I don't know, because it's just so complex. I think you've got to really listen to your body. Listen to your body, what your body is saying, and drop into that. If something is anxious, relationships should not be confusing. They should not be anxiety producing. Things should be